Should you read Kingdom? That is a question that many, including myself, have asked probably in the past. They've asked, should we sit down and read this series? I've heard this name amongst people that are recommending manga, saying if I want a very mature series, I should sit down and read it. And I've constantly asked myself for a long time now, should I read Kingdom? And with this anime season, and also with a lot of manga coming to a close recently, I've gained a little bit more time to sit down and find new series that most likely I will enjoy. And many in the past have recommended me to read Kingdom. And sadly, this series does not have as much support as many other manga I have read and have reviewed on this channel. And it truly makes me sad, because, for one, I feel like it's the entire licensing issue. Kingdom has never been released in the States in English. It's never gotten an English release. It only retains to its original Japanese. And that's sad, because I feel like if more people were aware of how good this series was, this would already have an English translation. And what makes it even sadder is that Kingdom is released in the same magazine as Tokyo Ghoul. Now, I know a majority of you Chibits that are probably watching this video most likely know a lot about me because of Tokyo Ghoul. A lot of you Chibits just watch my Tokyo Ghoul videos. And as you all know by now, how I feel about mature stories. Stories that really make you think, process what's probably going to happen in the future, foreshadowing, setup, all these different things and meaning behind the characters. That's something I truly love. I think many could possibly agree to that. That's kind of what I really like when it comes to different manga and anime, and it's one of the main things or reasons why I love Tokyo Ghoul so much. And it makes me so sad that Kingdom is not really that well known, even though out of the countless manga I have personally read, hundreds, I have never seen a series quite like this. I want to be honest. I've never seen a series quite like Kingdom. I've seen series try to attempt to be something like Kingdom, but didn't even come close. Not even a speck close to what this series really is and what makes it shine. And just offer a word of praise to this series. And it's my highest praise I could really give. Actually, there's two highest praises, which I want to start with the first one. I have never seen politics displayed in this series from any other thing I have read. Any other form of literature. I have never seen politics displayed quite like this in a manga. I never have. Yes, I even have to say some of the politics used in this is probably far surpassing Spice and Wolf, my favorite series. My favorite light novel series, I will tell you right now. Kingdom destroys any politics in Spice and Wolf. Maybe not economics, but even then, Kingdom still makes Spice and Wolf have a run for its money when it comes to economics too. So, what I'm getting at is that this series continued to surpass my expectations the more I read it. At the start, when I first started the series, it seemed cool. It was a cool setting and all that. It's nothing I haven't seen before. That was my first impressions of it. It had a nice, different start. It had a very dark tone to it. But overall, it was just nothing too impressive. But then as the series carried on, I started to see the bigger picture that makes this series really shine. It's a character-driven story. It's a story about a character wanting to become a great general. A general that is in the heavens. The great general in the heavens. The greatest title that you can get. He wants to be known to all amongst China. He wants everybody to remember his name. Even after he dies, he wants everybody to remember him in his legacy. And that is a big goal. But on top of that, though, the setting of the series makes the goal even more fascinating, because it's the Warring States era in China. There are 7 warring states. And all these states are competing against each other, constantly having battle for the past 500 years to prove who is on top. So there's been a lot of bloodshed, a lot of death, a lot of war, a lot of pointless death over certain ideals. And this war has been constant for 500 years, the Warring States era. 7 states in China. The main goal of one of our main male characters, Sei, is to unite all of China. Unite everyone under one banner. Now, at first glance, this seems like something relatively simple. Something we have seen countless times from many other manga. Conquering states, maybe trying to be the king of the world, maybe just making everyone to realize that war is a bad thing. It's something very simple and something we have probably all seen before. But it's not what it is. It comes down to the execution. How it is done, how it is presented, and how the mangaka tackles these themes. And I feel like that's where the best way, or the best reason why I feel like Kingdom shines so much. And on top of that, though, after finally catching up, reading the latest chapter, I will say this right now. At this time, I place Kingdom in my top 5 favorite manga of all time. No joke. I place it in my top 5. My personal top 5 favorite manga. That can change at any time, obviously. But at this time of me catching up and just seeing the journey, reflecting on everything that has happened throughout the journey of this series, I can honestly say that this is definitely in my top 5. And what truly made this series into my top 5 was actually a certain moment in the chapter 300s. Around in that time, it's what really changed my overall opinion of the series. I mean, I loved Kingdom before I even got to that chapter, but it was something that happened in that chapter, something that happened in this arc, that happened around in the 300s, that truly just changed my feelings about Kingdom entirely. And all I'm going to say is, if you are caught up with Kingdom, you might know what I'm talking about. It's a very, very big war, but also it's focused around one of our main male characters, Sei. And when I saw that scene, my blood, my heart has never pumped that hard in a very long time. The amount of fret you feel in this series when a character goes to war, when you see this army just charging out, you have this sense of dread like any of these characters can die at any time, and they can just get their neck slit right then and there, and you constantly worry. It's something that's always in the back of your head, because Kingdom keeps enough realism to allow you to realize that war isn't pretty. It's something that happens, and something that is very dark, something to where you see kind of the darkest parts of humanity when war happens. You see people pillaging, you see people killing innocent civilians, you just see people slaughtering each other over ideals, you just see constant, lives being lost, maybe for pointless reasons or righteous reasons. But, I mean, overall, Kingdom is a type of series grounded in realism. It is not something that is fantasy. It's not something that is just bullshit and trying to be something that it's not. It's trying to strike home that it is a series based on war. It's based on warfare and how to unite an entire country into one state. And I have never seen war displayed, I think, ever in manga quite like I have seen Kingdom do. It is definitely number one in terms of warfare. I've never seen warfare done like Kingdom has done. I was completely stunned with the way tactics were used in Kingdom, the way soldiers, cavalry, way archers, building fortifications on a center hill. I mean, I learned so much after reading Kingdom. I've learned so many things about how maybe tactics were used in the medieval era. And it just amazes me by how the writer of this series can present things like this. And for someone that is not really well versed in military affairs, someone that doesn't really know much about the medieval era when it came to fighting like that, like, that type of fighting, it managed to break it down in a way to where I can understand it and learn things from the series and also appreciate the writing. And I will tell you right now, if you want a series that is highly intelligent, something that makes you constantly think, but also a series that gives you a lot of action as well, I can say this, it is definitely worth a read. Now, personally, I have not watched the anime of Kingdom. I have no idea how the anime is. The only things I have heard about the anime is that it's just utter garbage. Now, that's just what I've heard. I personally have not watched the Kingdom anime. I know there's 2 seasons. I know it's CGI, and because it's CGI, it doesn't mean it's bad, obviously. However, I have heard bad things about it, saying that's a bad series, that it has, you know, like it just skips a lot of plot points or something. And so I would have to see it for myself if, you know, it really is bad. But overall, though, I feel like why many might not read this series could be possibly because of the anime. And that really makes me sad. It truly makes me sad when I see many not watching or reading a series because of certain counterparts to that said series. If anime is bad, many might not want to read the manga. If the manga is bad and that's what they start on, they might not want to see the anime. Light novel's bad, they might not want to see, you know, the different adaptations of it. And so it makes me very sad when I see certain adaptations ruining series and making people not really wanting to see the original source. For instance, the manga of Kingdom. And I truly believe why this series isn't as popular as it should be is probably because of how many received the anime, because many kind of disliked it because of either CGI or maybe it was rushed and it was just really shitty. And that really makes me sad, and it really makes me want to just make a ton of videos on this just to kind of get the name of Kingdom out there for many will kind of see this series and see it for what it really is and try to start reading it. And that's kind of why the reason I'm making this video and why I even picked up Kingdom in the first place. And it also goes back to one of my core things that I used to do all the time in the past and I still like to do. I like to find series that are not really well known or series that are really not discussed as much as others and bring them up, talk about them, and maybe even if I bring in 2 people to read the series or watch a series, that's enough for me. Even if it's 2 or 1 people, like just 1 person or 2 people, it makes me happy to know I've introduced a said series to someone, and that's kind of why I want to make this video. I want everybody that has not given this series a chance to at least go read it. Just go give it a shot and see if you'll like it for yourself. It does have a slow start, I do admit, but it gets progressively better as it continues to carry on and the plot gains more focus. I'd say give it about it's a 498 chapters right now. It's at currently 498 chapters at the time of me making this video. And I know that's a lot of chapters. That's a lot of chapters, and many will say I don't have the time to read that. I can understand. I mean, 400-something chapters is quite a bit. It really is. That's a lot of fucking chapters. But I would say, if you really want to get kind of the core focus of the series, kind of get like an understanding of it, I would say read the first 50 chapters. Get an understanding of the first 50 chapters, and if you like it after that, like if you truly like it, then continue reading. Because I feel like it really gains a lot of focus early on, but after 50 chapters, it really had me hooked. I was reading it constantly. But then when I got to around the 300s, I'll tell you right now, I stayed up all freaking night reading the series because it was just that good of a series. It was just that good, I could not put Kingdom down. It was constantly in my mind. And I mean, it's just something that truly amazes me. So, I truly say, if you have not read Kingdom, I really think you should read it. You definitely should read Kingdom. I am definitely going to be making more videos on this series because of how good it is. It's something that just continues to surpass my expectations. Ashita might have the symbolism game. He might have hidden meaning game going on. He has that on point. But however, Ashita doesn't have anything on warfare that I've seen displayed in Kingdom and politics. I have never seen a series quite like it. I offer it the highest praise in my top 5 favorite manga of all time, and also it surpasses Spice and Wolf in terms of politics and gives the economics a run for its money. So, if that doesn't say how much I truly enjoyed reading this series, I don't know what else I really can say. That is my highest praise, and I do not say that lightly about Kingdom. So, yeah, expect reviews. Chapter reviews on Kingdom. Definitely. Expect chapter reviews. I promised it already, but it's happening. Now, before I probably do chapter reviews, I'm probably going to make some separate videos on certain topics of this series I want to discuss. Now, this is spoiler section, so I'm just going to kind of cut you Chibits off here if you don't want to be spoiled and you want to go read the series. So, if you Chibits are leaving right now and don't want to be spoiled, I'm just going to say right now, thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you for at least watching this video to see if you might be interested in Kingdom. And if you're not into it, that happens. Kingdom is not going to be for everyone, but I mean, if you've watched to this point of this video, I truly appreciate it, and I'm just glad maybe it might spark you to mention this series to someone else, and maybe they might want to read it too, and maybe one day we might get an English translation of Kingdom in the States. So with that being said, I'm getting into the spoil section, so you all have a very, very great day. Now, I'm going to give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, these spoilers are not going to go into very great detail because I want to save them for separate videos, different topics, and just discuss them a little bit more with a more focused point. And so, to kind of just mention a couple of things that truly impressed me about this series, there's a lot of moments. And just to name a few that really got me when I was talking about the Chapter 300s, the entire Coalition War, the 6 states rising up against Quinn, that shit truly blew me away. Like, God, oh my fucking God, like, that was probably one of the best fucking arcs I have ever read. One of the best arcs I have ever read. The diversity of the characters, to the warfare that was used in that, probably some of the best writing I have seen in terms of politics and warfare. I can't even describe it to anything. I can't. That's just how good it was. On top of that, other really, really good moments. Oki. Oki as a character, as a general. It saddens me that he died. It really does. But his message and meaning that is still left on to the latest chapter, I appreciate that, and that is something that blew me away with the writing of this series. That's what really got me too, is just like how a character like Oki, he was a very strong individual, was taken down like that. It just grounded in the realism that characters can die. Great characters can die. These big names can die. The new era is coming in, and even though this character has died, you can still say he's still there in spirit with some of our main characters like Shin. And just seeing that alone, just seeing how Oki continues to be with Shin, like in legacy-wise, that makes me happy, just with the characters alone of the series. And then others, like Duke. Oh my god, Duke. Duke, that man, I pegged him as someone that was just suicidal, someone that was crazy, someone that was just completely stupid and trying to be a brute. But that man, I dare say, he's up there with Oki. I shed tears for that man. I straight up legit shed tears for that man. When I saw that man fall, and he's like, forward, and he just told Shin to go. Dude, that was so fucking sad. I mean, even Oki, too, and this man, he gets stabbed and all that straight through, and he's like, wheels himself back from the grave on his horse, and then he talks to Shin like, Shin, what do you see on my horse right now? You see the battlefield. You're on a general's horse. That, just some of the moments those two characters had, breathtaking. I mean, it's not even those moments. Like I said, Sai, that city, Sai. Oh, that shit is what had my heart pumping, because it was just such a desperate situation. It was so dire, seeing so many men pouring at this city, seeing regular civilians having to stand up and fight. Oh my god, that was... That alone, that moment alone, is what concreted my thoughts on this series. Like, this is in my top 5. Just that one moment when the king himself steps onto the battlefield, and he's like, I'm going. That, too fucking good. But then, the build-up. Oh yes, the build-up of this volume. This phenomenal moment. With the king, with Sei, versus Ro. That was such a fucking epic moment. When these two finally placed all cards on the table, everything that has been building up for years, these two finally have their dispute settled. That moment when Sei became king, and he announced he will unify all of China. that was some fucking great build-up for that. That conclusion since the very beginning. Like, that shit, oh my god, how long that built up. And then now, with the war happening with Zhao, that, I will say that I have a lot to talk about when it comes to Kingdom, and videos will be coming. I think I'll probably talk about Oki first, maybe Sai. I don't know. There's two places I want to talk about. I might make the Duke and Oki video into one, but I do want to talk about Sai, the city Sai, entirely just in one video, because that was so fucking phenomenal. Yeah. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. I mean, manga readers, I've done like you asked. I'm here. I'm here. Don't worry. It's not something that I said soon anymore, it's gonna happen. I've done it. So, it's happened. I promised, and your wish has been granted. So, with that, I guess, I can finally focus on those Ava videos now, because, I finished or caught up with Kingdom. So, yeah, forgive me, it's a little bit delayed. I mean, I know the Kingdom video's delayed, and I've had to delay my, vlog this week, also Thanksgiving to my family. I've delayed a lot of things just to kind of get all my thoughts on Kingdom before I can make a video on it. But two, I've, just want to say, I'm glad I read this. Just like, something about manga, or any type of literature. You can always find something, the next great thing. You never expect to find anything that could be better than the last series, but somehow you do. And here I found it. Kingdom. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day, or night, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.